Hi, welcome back to the big-hearted Dachshund, and I have worked since the last video down to this section, and I'm on this row here, and I've come across the heart. Lots of different ways to make the heart, but since I'm using a purple thread which has turned out to be a little bit fine for the size of pattern, I'm going to use a really thick Gimp, just one thread, and to save it, because it is such a thick thread, I've knotted it on to a piece of spare thread, so I will only be using 2.5 inches of this, so I don't need to waste it by wrapping it around the thing. And in the middle, instead of doing half stitch or a cloth stitch ground, I was thinking of adding another different colour thread in the middle. I'm going to go with the sequins. And to control my sequins, I use a bead mat. These are sticky silicone mats, and everything stays where you put them until you pick them up. Very handy, no more skittering about in little bowls. Very handy. Obviously made for beaders because it's a bead mat, but for sequins, excellent, because they flick absolutely all over the place. Right, so I need to put in my Gimp thread. You can see from the holes I've tried different ways of doing it, and this is the way that I preferred it. So I'm going to first of all put a pin in on the actual drawn line, which isn't being worked, it's only a guide for where the Gimp goes, and hang the Gimp over it. In Honiton this is called a coarse thread, which I prefer because it's more descriptive, but there's only one of them and they have to go a certain way. So because I'm working that way, I have to start on the first point going that way of the nearest. Now I've crossed that at the pin, so that's done its last pin there, and I'm going to add to the normal half, I'm going to add, that will go over there, an extra twist so that I can pick up the left and place it on the other side of the Gimp, take the Gimp over the right, and then put another 2 twists on. Now when I look, it's all about looking and reading. The next hole to be worked is the next one along from this, and it's inside the Gimp, so I need to pass the Gimp through this one before I can make that half stitch pin half stitch. So the next one is this coming down. So again, I'll put on, make sure I've got, I'd already got 2 twists on, lift the left, take it over, do 2 twists to close it, put it over there. And now I will do my half stitch, pin, half stitch, that's that done. And the next one, let's see what the next one asks for. The next one is inside, so this one wants to come, that's right, I've gone through and it wants connecting with this, right, okay. So this wants the Gimp to go through the same, so I'll cross, give that an extra twist, lift the left, take it over, put 2 twists on, put that out of the way, and now I can do my inside pinhole. There we go. And the next one that I'm looking at here is the Gimp goes down and it's outside. The next pin to be worked is on the outside. So this one will need to go back out through the pinhole, and one will need to come back in through the pinhole to go down here. So the actual pin is on the outside. Right, okay. So I'll put my extra twist on, lift the left, twist, twist, work that next pinhole with a half stitch, pin, half stitch, then put a second twist on this side because this has to come back inside to do this row here. Lift the left, up, 2 twists. Okay, now this one will carry on and go across as per normal, as much as any of my patterns are normal. I'm leaving behind the groundwork while I do this edge. I've realised that I've got a strange camera angle because it's my phone, and I think I should be pointing my pins further backwards so that you can see better. I think it can be confusing sometimes, so I'll see if I can remember. If this was a zoom, somebody would be shouting, "Put your pins out of the way." Right, okay, so we've got to there, and here's my edge pairs, 2 passives. This is my worker. Oh, has it got twisted? Yes, it's got twisted. Oops. Right, okay, so here's my worker ready to take this one in. I'll take it in because then I can take it into the edge there. It's so very close. Just work the edge. Oops, that only has one on. I've forgotten since yesterday. Back through the 2 passives. Work through the what is the third passive. Put 1 twist on. Line the hole up with the next row. And now that worker can go back to the edge, and this will work back across. There we go. These are all outside that line. Okay, now we've got another bit of coarse thread here, and the next pinhole is here, and it's on the inside, so this will need to come inside. If I were to put that just through, lift the left, you always lift the left and put that through, you'll see the twist has disappeared by the time I go on, and we want to hold this in place in between the 2 pins. So put an extra twist on, lift the left, and it keeps that twist. When you come to this side, you put that twist on, but by the time you've twisted again, it will lose it, so you put another twist on. So you have 2 twists on before and 2 twists afterwards. In different laces, you have different amounts of twists, but usually that's quite normal. We still only need 1 inside. So I can now do that pinhole inside. There we go. So now I'm on my way across here. And at the first crossing here, oops, at the first pin inside the heart, I will add a sequin. Now these are quite generous. I'm hoping that they're going to fill the space. So I've got one in. Because it's a thick thread, I'll just ease it down a little tiny bit, and that just gives it a little bit more space. So I start with the right hand thread. Again, I've done loads and loads of sequins, but I'm putting these on a slightly different way. Pulling the hoop through one, and the other through, pushing it so that the threads are at the bottom of the sequin, coming into the blank bit at the top of the sequin. Grab the next one of the left hand pair, pull that one through, make the hoop, put its partner through, the loop. The beads don't make this very easy. I'm placing the bobbins down in exactly the same position that they came from. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to find the top two threads, I'm going to cross them over, put them down. I'm going to take the two bottom threads that are obviously coming out of the bottom of the sequin and cross those over. Now I'll put their twist on, put two twists on the right. What that gives me is this thread, the thread that's been coming this way, continues to go that way. The thread that comes this way continues to go that way. They don't change places on this by doing it this way. And you can put a pin in the centre and just see to anchor it in the pin space. There we go. And straight onto another sequin. Yes, they are going to overlap. Hopefully this will work. Because I want the heart really full. Oops. I didn't catch my thread then. Got it. So open it up, pop the bobbin through, lay them down in the same position, get the top of the, this is where you risk catching the threads that are already through, so if you try and pull the threads to the bottom of the hole, now I didn't expand that hole, so that does show that it does need a little bit of persuasion. There we go. Live and learn, eh? Pull that through, get the partner, pop that through, snuggle up, find which the top two are and cross those over, find the bottom two and cross those over, and then do the twists, an extra twist on the right. May have got away with that. I'll put a pin in that one to secure it, to keep it still so it doesn't wander about. Now then the next, I can take that out because this is obviously not going anywhere now. This is quite, make sure it's not ruckled. Yes, it's smooth enough going around. You can sometimes get a little loop, so you just have to make sure it's smooth enough. Now the next pin, which is on the inside. Right, okay. So this one that's coming down wants to be pinned on the inside. So I'll put another twist on, lift the left, take it over, put my two on, do my half stitch, pin a half stitch inside the loop, give the extra twist before I feed it back out again, twist, twist, just let down these bobbins now. Give that a bit more space. So this now is working its pins out to the side and back down again, repeating what we've done all the way along here, just with the extra fun of having a heart, sequined heart thrown in.